haideți să începem și, de fapt, să continuăm cu o discuție interesantă, dar cu alți vorbitori, pe care îi invit acum alături de mine. Ioan Tănase, director de programe Roma Education Fund Foundation, care ne va vorbi despre minorități, vă rog. Mariana Onofriuc, expert on Inclusion and Child Protection, European Disability Forum. Mariana Onofriuc, despre dizabilitate. Please sit. Și Iatu Andreea, Vice President Autism Baia Mare, tot la această temă, dizabilitate. Este? Andreea Iatu? Ok, o așteptăm. Despre gen, Daniela Drăghici, Anais Association and Romanian Women's Lobby. Vă rog, stați aici lângă mine dacă e. Și Age Elderly, deci vârstă și bătrânețe, Agnieszka Nosowska, Policy Center for International Aid. Welcome. Suntem toți? No? The translation is not working. Now it's okay, yeah? Good. Thank you very much. Thank you all. You can, English channel number 2, yeah? Okay. I hope it's, everybody can understand, yeah? You can check? Ok, eu zic să începem cu primul vorbitor și între timp, da, cineva din echipa tehnică poate să o ajute, da? Pe doamna Agnieszka, nu? Agnieszka Nosowska? Policy Center for International Aid, care ne va vorbi la sfârșit. Până atunci cred că se reglează și casca. Da? Surpriză, un invitat surpriză pe care o să-l anunțăm când va veni, înțeleg, nu? Este. Bun, haideți să începem prezentările în ordinea în care am făcut invitația de a veni pe scenă. În primul rând despre minorități, nu? Vom vorbi cu Ioan Tănase, director de programe la Roma Education Fund Foundation. Vă rog.
Mulțumesc tare mult pentru invitație. And now I'm going to switch to English. Thank you very much for the invitation. It is really an honor and a privilege on behalf of our organization to speak and to share our experiences of working with vulnerable communities, with Roma communities, the communities that we serve. I'm Ioan Tănase and I'm on behalf of REF, Roma Education Fund. We are an international organization. We are focused on delivering education services for Roma communities. We are at the moment present in more or less 16 countries in East Central Europe, in the Western Balkans and in Turkey. And as regards our focus of the organization, in addition to the education services that we provide for our Roma communities, currently, what we are trying to do is to move beyond individual support and rather focus on building on the gains of individuals, on the results of individuals, and having community resilience, of course, through education. We have been involved in the refugee crisis, and we have been serving the Roma refugees that have been arriving or transiting Romania. Before I start with an introduction to what we have done, there is also a PowerPoint presentation that we have prepared. I would like to start by signaling a caveat for the entire approach. It's true that we have been talking in the first day about the humane component of providing support for refugees, but what I feel like at least when it comes to supporting Ukrainian vulnerable people, what I feel like we are merely doing like a drop in the ocean. We are doing our support, which is absolutely necessary out of humane attitudes, but at the end of the day, it's merely a drop in the water, a drop in the ocean, just because of the fact at the end of the day, what has to be done, at least for vulnerable people, is to have some sort of predictability, some sort of plan, some sort of expectations for them to know what they are dealing with once they are arriving in Romania. And that this department, we have to be honest, that the Romanian state really lacked very much. On the other aspect, again, when it comes to speaking about vulnerable groups, what is important is that vulnerability can be seen in terms of the extent and also intensities. So you have layers of vulnerability that add to one another and that create a complex intervention when you want to provide support. I mean, think of the fact that the communities that we have been serving with the refugee crisis, not only that they were refugees, but they were also Roma refugees. And they were facing racism and discrimination to begin with in their own countries. So it comes along with an entire context. So when we are dealing with services for vulnerable people, we have to take into account, and I was really happy that the panel was called Intersectionality. If we could move to slide number 2, what we have done once the crisis started is we offered on-the-spot support for Roma Ukrainian refugees arriving. So just for you to have an idea, we have put out 2 statements of some of our beneficiaries that we came in contact with at the beginning of the crisis, at the beginning of 2022, just for you to have an idea about what they were actually fleeing from when it comes to, arriving to Romania. We have been lucky in this sense because at the beginning of the crisis, we had a very friendly donor, Foundation for Remembrance and Responsibility, and they allowed us to be more flexible with the resources that they have provided for us, so that we kind of were able to provide our on-the-spot support. So this is what we have done at the beginning of the crisis. We were present in the main railway station in Romania. We were trying to facilitate a little bit the language barriers, covering even Romani language, facilitating support, on-the-spot support, and even this kind of basic needs of assisting people to purchase tickets, to have accommodation, and so on and so forth. It's very important to mention that because we are talking about resources and donors, this has been done with a really friendly donor that gave us the opportunity to move beyond the established project. These are some instances what we have done again at the beginning of the crisis. We called our task force unit together with RSL and Ready Roma for Humanity. Again, we have been talking about the humane part of our activities. Since 2023, our approach was more structured in the sense that with another donor, we have created a so-called one-stop shop center for vulnerable people, where we were inviting especially Roma Ukrainian refugees that were either transiting Romania or being here to stay. And in the activities that we were trying to focus on was on providing material support, educational support, and this type of assistance in relation to the state. What we have managed up until now, think about the fact that the situation with the most vulnerable of the refugees arriving from Ukraine is rather fluctuating. What we have managed to secure is to work with around 75 families, more or less 200 children, and you can see on the screen a list of activities that we have done, out of which the most important thing is that at the beginning of working, we covered the psychosociological support and trauma support for the families, because it's not easy to establish yourself in a different country. Again, we are talking about vulnerable communities. They themselves were facing racism and discrimination in their own home countries. Not to mention what happens here in Romania. These are some instances of the educational activities that we have been doing in the center that we established here in Bucharest. At the end, what I wanted to mention is I'm just going to scroll through the activities we have created some days of celebration and to make the life in terms of socializing a little bit better for the families and the children that we have been serving. And we even celebrated the Independence Day of Ukraine end of August. What I wanted to highlight in the end of the presentation, besides the fact that a customized, tailored approach when it comes to different layers of vulnerability for Ukrainian refugees. There has to be, in terms of donors, and I noticed in the panel this morning, there has to be some sort of flexibility when it comes to planning the resources and executing the resources. For instance, what we had to do with our own plan was to somehow chip in and to try to cover for the very complicated legislation of the Romanian state, offering state aid support that was kind of, registering delays, and in April, May this year, last year was even changed. And this is another lesson learned, that the state should be more prepared for this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your speech. It's time to announce another speaker. As I told you, it's another speaker, Carmen Andreșoi from FDP, Protagoniști în Educație, în sală. Da, okay. And she's going to join us. He already did.
E ok în română, ca să meargă mai repede? Sau în engleză, cum vreți?
E în engleză, dacă, nu știu, asta a fost tiparul. We switch to English if it's okay for you. Yeah?
Yes, it's okay for me, just I will try to be very short. I know the time is not our friends.
No, 5 minutes each presentation, because in order to let a couple of minutes to the end for the interactive session, you can put also, you can address question on Menti platform, but in the end, okay? So that's why we must be very short in speeches. Thank you.
Very briefly, who is FDP Protagoniști in Education? We are an NGO that we are working in Romania for 27 years already. And you can see that our main mission is to bring education in the communities where it's not accessible. So actually we promote educational programs in vulnerable communities. I'm just trying to see how it's working. Okay. I will not step in our history, but I will start with the intervention for Ukrainians that we have done all these months. Actually, we started to work on emergencies as all of us started, but we did this for first 3 months. And after 3 months, we have started to think what's happening long term, what we can do with the people that will remain in Romania. And actually, my intervention is willing to introduce you to our main programs, which were developed first for Romanian kids. Our programs are Social Sports School, created together with Foundation Real Madrid. It's a 12-year program used for inclusion through sport. So actually, the way we organized our programs was to open the gates of the main programs that we have. So the Social Sports School, even the program has 100 Romanian children living on Bucharest outskirts. So we talk about vulnerable children, we talk about Roma children. Actually, we did not open up a new program for Ukrainians. We just invited Ukrainian children and Ukrainian families to come into our programs and to join the activities together with Romanian children. And actually, the second program, sorry, but it's too long and I will not have time for this, it stopped. The second main program that we develop, it's Wonder Center. Wonder Center, it's a daycare center for inclusion special education needs children. It's also, again, a program developed for Romanian children for inclusion special education need children. Now we develop free therapies for 75 Romanian children. And actually, since the beginning of the support for Ukrainians intervention, we included Romanian children in the support we have offered. Actually, we invited Romanian children to come with us in the transit centers for Ukrainians. They prepared things for Ukrainians. Even we don't have funding now because we ended all international funds in December. We have been working with, let's say, main donors, Plan International, UNICEF, and donors from Spain and Italy. We could not say to families, here we stop because we have no funding. Because of this way we did things, actually opening up our programs, we still consider them our beneficiaries. They are part of our main programs, and I'm sure that for the time they want to remain in Romania, they know for sure that, that we can offer support in the same way we do for Romanian families. So we tried from the beginning to don't create differences, to don't make this gap between Romanian beneficiaries and Ukrainian beneficiaries, because we wanted to respond equally, and we really tried to focus and to make our donors understand that we cannot create these differences and these bridges, because this will affect our work long term. So thank you. I will stop here, and for more infos we can talk in the breaks.
Thank you very much. We go further in this panel, in which we try to find out, to figure the dimensions of the vulnerability and the forgotten ones. And the next speaker is Andreea Iatu, Vice President Autism Baia Mare.
Bună ziua, mulțumesc tare mult pentru invitație și aș vrea să-i mulțumesc, Daniele, că m-a scos din zona de confort. Eu de 14 ani lucrez foarte nișat cu copii cu autism și în momentul în care Daniela mi-a propus să lucrez cu copii cu autism, dar din Ucraina, am avut mari emoții, dar m-am gândit așa, ce ar fi fost dacă ar fi fost vorba de copiii noștri, cei din centru, 76, care ar fi trebuit să plece într-o altă țară, în condițiile în care au venit copii cu autism din Ucraina la noi. Și atunci am zis, trebuie să facem ceva. Ne-am strâns toate fetele, că noi așa ne numim, și am zis, trebuie să facem ceva. E o barieră de limbă, pentru că niciuna dintre noi nu știam rusă sau ucrainiană. Cumva am reușit să ne descurcăm. Ne-a fost foarte greu la început. În prima săptămână ne-am gândit că nu o să reușim să facem o schimbare în viața copiilor, că suntem mult prea mici. Dar până la urmă am reușit și o să vă și arătăm cum. Câteva lucruri despre asociație. Noi ne-am format în 2008. Suntem părinți de copii cu autism. Eu nu am un copil cu autism, dar credeți-mă, fiind de 14 ani acolo, mă consider mămica tuturor copiilor, celor 76. La început, inițiativa părinților a fost să facă această asociație pentru că o să vină statul și o să ne ajute să oferim servicii copiilor. Gândiți-vă că în 2008 serviciile pentru copii cu autism erau foarte puține, spre deloc, iar partea de know-how era venită doar din străinătate. Noi de acolo am pornit. În acest moment, vă spuneam că oferim servicii pentru 76 de copii și tineri, pentru că copiii noștri din 2008 au crescut. Și ne dorim să-i vedem cât de bine se poate, maximum cât se poate legat de abilitățile lor. Avem în acest moment operațiuni atât în Baia Mare, cât și în Sighetul Marmației și Târgu Lăpuș. Sunt 2 localități din județul Maramureș, unde avem servicii licențiate. Noi facem foarte mult advocacy pentru autism, pentru că abilitățile, viziunea și creativitatea lor aduc un foarte mare beneficiu comunității și lumii întregi. Spuneam că în momentul în care a început războiul, noi fiind și o localitate la graniță, am pus un mesaj de fapt pe Facebook, că de acolo a pornit. Și am zis așa, limbajul iubirii este universal. Noi nu știm ucraineană sau rusă, dar limbajul iubirii este universal. Noi avem un spațiu mare, avem foarte multe jucării, avem foarte multe materiale de terapie, avem un spațiu frumos și o clădire mare și o grădină mare. Și hai să facem activități împreună. În prima fază am oferit foarte mult suport pentru copii și apoi a venit primul copil cu autism la noi în centru, copil care nu beneficiase de niciun fel de intervenție în acel moment. Și ne-a fost greu. Am beneficiat de 3 runde de finanțare. În această lună închem a 3-a rundă de finanțare prin CARE, SERA și FOMPC și vă spun sincer că dacă nu erau ei, eu nu eram astăzi aici să vă povestesc câte lucruri minunate am făcut și cât de mult m-a schimbat pe mine personal acest proiect. Am avut în total 1300 de beneficiari, copii tineri și adulți, iar 4 dintre ei sunt diagnosticați cu autism. Am făcut foarte multe activități, le vedeți acolo. Noi ne-am axat pe partea de intervenție ABA, pentru că asta știm, kinetoterapie, apoi tot felul de grupuri pe care noi le-am gândit pentru copii tipici și copii cu autism și pentru mămici, pentru că am văzut că au foarte mare nevoie de suport. Am făcut foarte multe activități în afara centrului, pentru că noi nu vrem să facem activități doar în cadrul centrului. Am ieșit cumva în afară, pentru că ne-am gândit că tot ce oferim copiilor noștri cu autism, ar trebui să oferim copiilor cu autism din Ucraina. Și am făcut foarte multe ieșiri, petreceri, noi le-am numit masterclass-uri, partea de arts and crafts, am gătit împreună, am gătit mâncare tradițională românească, mâncare tradițională ucraineană și am făcut cumva activitățile pe care noi le-am numit blended, adică copii cu autism din cadrul centrului nostru, copii cu autism și copii tipici din Ucraina. De aici, da. Acum, legat strict de partea de intervenție, de-a lungul celor lunilor de activitate, am avut 4 copii cu autism, cu vârste între 2 și 6 ani. Am lucrat într-o echipă complexă, formată din psiholog, psihopedagog, un translator și întotdeauna, la toate activitățile și mai ales în partea de terapie, a fost prezentă fie mama, bunica sau tatăl copilului. Am făcut o evaluare, cum am reușit să o facem, acum n-am putut să aplicăm testele pe care noi le aplicăm în mod normal pentru partea de evaluare, dar am reușit să încropim cumva ceva ca să vedem exact la ce nivel este copilul. Am făcut un plan de intervenție și apoi a urmat partea de terapie. A fost 1 la 1, copil, terapeut, dar a fost și părintele și translatorul. Noi milităm întotdeauna ca părinții să știe ce se întâmplă în terapie. Noi, fără părinți, nu am reușit să facem nimica, pentru că viața reală se întâmplă în afara centrului. În centru, copiii învață abilități, dar trebuie să le pună în practică în comunitate, la mall, la magazin, și atunci copiii învață abilități la noi și părintele trebuie să știe exact ce trebuie să facă dacă copilul, nu știu, în magazin are un tantrum.
Da.
Cam acestea au fost problemele pe care noi le-am văzut. Acum, gândiți-vă la un lucru. Fiecare copil este unic. Dacă ai cunoscut o persoană cu autism, ai cunoscut o persoană cu autism. Nu seamănă unul cu celălalt și atunci noi a trebuit să personalizăm absolut tot. Dar vedeți, o parte din problemele pe care noi le-am identificat la copilaș și care au fost rezultatele.
Dacă putem să ne apropiem de final, nu?
Ok. Câteva poze de la activități și am și 2 filmări foarte scurte. Aici era un joc simbolic, avem și o pisică terapeutică, îl cheamă Armin, și copil. I-am ținut ziua, da? Și am cântat la mulți ani și i-am ținut ziua la Armin, mai ales că copilașul acesta are și o problemă orală, nu reușește să sufle. Și așa, pentru că am ținut ziua lui Armin, el o învăța să sufle. Bine, am ținut ziua în fiecare zi, de fiecare dată când o veni la terapie, dar așa. Și aici colega mea, nu știu, nu cred că se aude. Așa-i? Și e păcat pentru că aici colega mea lucrează pe cereri și când copilul spune da, el primește jucăria. Acum a spus da și a primit jucăria. Și mămica. Așa, pe lângă partea de intervenție, 1 la 1, am avut grupuri pentru copii, de care v-am mai zis, grupuri de suport pentru părinți și acestea au fost câteva obiective, nu mai le vedeți. Foarte multe ieșiri în afară. Noi avem, în Maramureș, acum trebuie să ne lăudăm, e o zonă foarte frumoasă, foarte multă cultură, partea de natură e superbă și noi am încercat cumva să-i ducem peste tot să vadă cât de frumos e la noi, ca să rămână. Și alte activități. Mulțumim. Și vreau să mai zic un lucru și termin. Noi suntem parteneri regionali la proiectul Orianei de la Profilaxis și am avut un foarte mare beneficiu pentru că acești copii care au o problemă legată de serviciile medicale au putut să fie consultați în cadrul asociației noastre, atât copiii noștri cu autism, cât și copiii și familiile din Ucraina. Mulțumesc!
Thank you very much. Now it's time to hear something about gender activities, and I invite on microphone Daniela Drăghici. Okay,
Yeah,
my
right
colleague,
next door.
next to me. Daniela Drăghici de la Asociația Anais, cu o prezentare specială, a very interesting and surprising presentation. You'll see.
I represent the Anais Association, and they are mainly focusing on preventing and combating gender-based violence and sexual and gender-based violence. They've served close to 2,000 beneficiaries through their projects. And if I could click some more. Oh, okay. They deal with women's empowerment, sexual, gender-based violence, gender equality, gender identity, women's bodies and health, celebrating women, stereotypes, gender roles, role models, and protection measures at the same time. Some photos, more photos. Okay, and workshops, many workshops. I don't know how this works, but it doesn't work. Many workshops on social media, how to use the social media, how to stay healthy on social media, dental media, dating in the digital world. This is very tricky, actually. Also for mothers, they work with mothers, they work with children. Also, they help professionals working with victims of gender-based violence. At the same time, we have booklets, and I actually brought some booklets on the table. They are both in English, Romanian, and Ukrainian. And that takes us to what I do, what I've been doing for Anais, empowerment through self-defense. I'm actually an empowerment through self-defense instructor, and I became one last May, and a lead instructor last August. And between May and July last year, I conducted 18 workshops for 200 and almost 300 participants. And I got very good news last night. I don't want to click on this. That UNICEF approved the funding for the next 6 months. So anybody who's interested, I'm going to start a list with names, especially of Ukrainian refugees, mothers and their children, so we can do that, because that's through empowerment, through self-defense, that's how we do it. Okay, I'm gonna get here. One of the game-based exercises is to be in a hula hoop and defend your boundaries. Boundaries are extremely important. One of the exercises is called Let Me In. So people around me are gonna want to get in my space, but I don't want that to happen. And these are verbal skills that we have to use to keep our boundary. Another one is let me out. You are enclosed in a space, but you want freedom, you want to get out, and you're surrounded by people who will not allow you to get out. And the same, you actually use your verbal skills. I'm going to get down here because this, I'm not even going to use this. This is based on 5 simple principles. First of all, let's think, what's going on around us? What's happening? Maybe there's a dangerous situation around us. Then what do? You notice the dangerous situations. What do? Well, any ideas? What do?
Run.
Well, maybe that's the first thing you do. You run. Yeah, exactly. How do you run? Or fight, exactly. Careful how you run. You do not turn your back to the aggressor and run away. You have to keep your eyes on the aggressor at all times. And through certain exercises, we learn how to run. That's one principle. Another one is yell. You have to yell. What's a key word that we can yell when we don't want something bad to happen to us? No. But I learned from my Ukrainian friends that I discovered last year that fire is better than no. Because if somebody sees a difficult situation between a couple, they think it's not their business to mingle if she says no. So, but if they say fire, everybody will start paying attention. Okay, we talked about run. Another one is fight. And I'm going to teach you just a few moves how to fight. So everybody get up. Up. We're going to use our hands in Self-defense, we do not use the fist. We use the palm heel because the fist is made up of very small bones that break. So we use that. One thing is you take a step back and this is your ready stance. Just take a step back and keep your balance. This is the ready stance and you say, no, I don't want any trouble. Get away from me. I don't want to punch you or hit you. First thing is palm heel, strike forward. Strike forward and say no. Let's do it 3 times. No, no, no. We are in another exercise is to identify our weak and strong parts of the body. What's a strong part of the body for you? Elbow. Let's use the elbow and strike forward. No, no, no. What if the aggressor is behind me and high and tall? Let's use that and go, no, no, no. Another part of the body that is really strong is the knee. So one strike is no, no, no. Well, there are several strikes. And actually, we can use this, this equipment, this piece of equipment, to actually hit it hard. I need a volunteer to maybe strike it like that, to do that. And I want to hear the sound that is really, come on, volunteer. I'm going to get down. Do you want to strike or hold the pad? You can hold the pad, okay? You hold the pad, yeah, but hold the wrist. So I'm going to strike. No, 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 okay? How about with the elbow? No, no, no. Oh, he's not moving, good. Hold it down so I can strike like this. No, no, no. Okay, that's one thing to do that. Okay, you can try later. With this equipment, we actually test our defense system because you hit somebody, another volunteer, or you again. Okay, we're not fencing, but try to hit me. Never on the head, but over here. And I'm trying to get away. Oh, he's still hitting me. But I'm hitting you too.
Star Wars.
That's Star Wars, yeah. That's enough. There's a very interesting game which is called traffic light. We have 3 colors, right? Like in a traffic light, and situations. And we read a situation and we decide where to put the situation. This says, he tried to rape me. Where do I put it? Red, exactly. He leaves me love notes at home, in the office and in the car. Red? You don't want the love notes. Yes. Could be sexual harassment. If you're not sure, you could put it outside and then debate on that. Okay. What else? Okay. And we also have a strategy game with the balloons. We have teams that strategize how to keep their balloon, but also destroy the other team's balloon. I've already destroyed one, I'm sorry, but we also have one. And this is a very good game that we can play, and it involves running and defending and ducking, you know, this kind of thing that is being done. And there are several other game-based exercises that we can do. Okay, now a last one, how, I'm gonna get you up again. The workshops end with everybody holding hands, and let's just try to imagine that we are in a circle, all of us, the closing circle, again, because you've sat down enough, okay?
I am going to run, I stay here.
Yeah. We're gonna stomp our feet and say 3 times no, and then with our arms in the air, we're gonna say yes. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. No, 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 yes! Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for this astonishing presentation. You all agree with this. And what we are going to do is a circle, a hula
The hula
move,
hoop.
a hula hoop.
Yeah, well-
move. Does somebody wants to try?
Yeah, we can certainly try. But as I said, because the funding has been approved, and I just learned about that last night, I'm going to start opening a list with contact data of people who are interested to attend the workshops for the next until the end of June.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Very nice. And last but not least speaker in this panel, it's Agnieszka Nosowska from Polish Center for... Where is still Mariana? Sorry, my fault. Mariana Onufric, sorry. About disability, yes, Mariana Onufric, expert on inclusion and child protection, European Disability Forum, please. Sorry again.
Yeah. Good afternoon. I represent here European Disability Forum. This is an umbrella organization that unites 110 organizations who advocate the rights of persons with disability all over Europe. I'm sorry, yeah. So, in 2022 and 2023, we conducted a research where 240 families with children with disability participated. All these families evacuated from Ukraine after the full-scale invasion in February 2022 and were hosted in European countries. And I would like to thank you, all of you, for inviting me and for the efforts and for the great best practices you shared here. And I would like to share with you also some recommendations and conclusions of this research, because to my mind they are still relevant and still need to be provided and implemented. So there is a lack of desegregated data all over Europe of children with disabilities. And many times today and yesterday I heard that Romania cares about 35,000 children from Ukraine, and unfortunately I know that there is no data regarding how many of them have disabilities, and the same in the other countries due to different reasons. But that means that all the services and all the needs are not met exactly because there is no this data, and I would like to pay your attention to this fact. And one more important issue I would like to share is that the overwhelming majority of the families wish to return to Ukraine once the war is over. And therefore it is vital to ensure that all these families and their children with disabilities will receive an adequate and inclusive support being in Ukraine. And so I would like to encourage you and to consider like a next step, a next stage on in your project, in the implementing programs all over Europe to support Ukrainian organization, to support Ukrainian government to build and to develop inclusive services for children and their families, including children with disabilities all over Europe. And from the perspective of Euro integration processes, and you know that Ukraine is now is a candidate to become a member of European Union. actually experience and success of Romania is is invaluable actually, because one of the recommendations, one of the demand of European Commission to Ukraine is to provide, to implement the institutionalization reform. And I know that Romania is one of the country in the Europe that made great success in this within actually the Euro integration processes. And actually European Disability Forum now is implementing the project in Chernivtsi region in the Institution for Children with Disabilities and with High Support Needs on deinstitutionalization. And we are very interested in collaboration and cooperation from this perspective and the support not only actually in Chernivtsi region but all over Ukraine. And the other thing I would like to share with you that, I'm sorry, I put some notes not to forget anything. I think that would be the last, that it is worth noting that during the interview all the parents shared of children with disabilities that the best thing about being abroad that they would like to take to Ukraine is the treatment of children with disability, is the consideration of their interests and needs. It's the way like society, like community cares about children with disability and their families, and this is very important for us. And I would like also to mention that one of the slogan of the Society of Persons with Disabilities all over the world is nothing for us without us. And being a mother of a child with disability and being Ukrainian here, I would like to thank you, all of you, for the support, for your enormous efforts to provide temporary protection here for us and for our children. And also being, I guess, the second one Ukrainian speaking here in this panel. I mean, yesterday was our ambassador, yes, in Romania. So I would like also on their behalf to thank all of you for this treatment and for our children. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And now I'll invite Agnieszka Nozowska from Polish Center for International Aid to speak about age and elderly.
Thank you very much. My name is Agnieszka Nozowska. I represent a Polish organization, Polish Center for International Aid, so I'm coming from a slightly different national context. PCPM, which is the Polish acronym for Polish Center for International Aid, is a humanitarian and development organization, and before February 22, we were mainly working in the Middle East and East Africa, implementing projects there as an international organization. But from February 22, we set up operations in Poland to support refugees from Ukraine. And one of the big programs that we were implementing and that I've been coordinating for the past almost 2 years has been cash assistance for Ukrainian refugees in Poland. We started this in March 22, and until today we managed to support over 28,000 persons, out of which around 4,000 were older persons. And we quickly shifted our focus to vulnerable groups, including persons with disability and older persons as the ones we are prioritizing in our programs of cash assistance. This was all possible thanks to also cooperation with multiple international organizations, including CARE and including Norwegian Refugee Council and also HelpAge International, thanks to whom we got invited to this conference, who referred us to participate here and share our experiences. Implementation of cash assistance for older persons led us to discover some challenges that there are when you support older persons. And Three major ones I would mention is digital literacy and access to information, because most of the information is shared online, but some people have no idea, have no internet access, don't know how to use mobile phones. So what we did throughout the programs, we had to adapt our ways of informing our target population about it. We had to set up local focal points to share information and to actively reach out to the communities so that older persons can actually find out about the program and register for it. Another challenge is transportation and getting to the registration points. We also switched from central registration points to more localized ones, going to the places, cities where the older refugees live. And also another challenge is access to financial services, as some of the older persons do not have a bank account, as they have zero income. So it doesn't make sense for them to set up and maintain a bank account. So we had an alternative solution, which was a dedicated ATM card, which also required some extra efforts to inform people how to actually use it, to explain how to use the ATM machine. So also operating a hotline that would answer their questions if they faced with challenges. This focus on support for older persons led us to the development, together with HelpAge International, a research report on the situation and challenges of older refugees. I just wanted to show you this one. This is the hard copy. Unfortunately, I do not have the hard copies to distribute, but you can go to the conference website, and next to my name in the panel, there is a link. If you click on PCPM's name, there is a link directly to this report. I really recommend it. It has very valuable information on on what specific challenges the older refugees are facing. In Poland, we have right now around 1 million refugees from Ukraine, and over 70,000, so 7% of the population, refugee population, are older people. That's a very significant number. It's also a significant number in comparison to other refugee crises where the share of older people is generally low, and as they are the group that does not want to leave their homes. And this is what also refugees from Ukraine are saying. So I just would like to share a few conclusions from the report of what needs to be done to respond to the needs of older people. First of all, there needs to be a continued financial support for older refugees, as they usually they have almost no income. According to our report, only 15% of Ukrainians over 60 were active in any form, full-time or part-time, on the labor market. So 85% have no income. They might be receiving some pension from Ukraine, but it's insignificant in the context of life costs in Poland. So this is something that, in a perfect scenario, should be carried out by the social protection system in Poland. Currently, it is not, and it needs advocating for extension of the systems. It should be complemented by social welfare centers, and only in the last resort, at the current stage, by humanitarian organizations, only if there is no solution from the state actors. Second recommendation and conclusion is that there is a need of really tailored support for older persons, including assistance that would support them in access to healthcare and also language support. 1/3 of the older Ukrainians do not speak Polish at all, and if they speak it at a very basic level, so this is a challenge even when accessing healthcare services. Also, there are combined vulnerabilities, as over 60% of older people are persons who live with disability, and over 70% have chronic illnesses or serious medical conditions. So they are the persons where those vulnerabilities intersect, and they need very specific support. The third recommendation is that there is a need for integration, facilitating access to local activities and psychosocial support. As per our report, only 44% of all the refugees participate in any form of social activities, at least once a week. By social activities, we also mean meeting friends. The majority of all the refugees are really alone, and this is the saddest number I will give now, is that 79% of the refugees said they felt worried, anxious, or depressed most days or every day of their life. So there is really a need to provide some type of companionship to all the refugees to allow them to integrate and be more active. This also requires these are recommendations that require a very strong role of local grassroots organizations, those who are in the places where the refugees actually live. This is why, as PCPM, we put support for older persons as one of the priorities of a fund, Polish Organizations Pooled Fund, that we launched recently thanks to some corporate funding, and we are streamlining funds from corporate donors to smaller Polish human organizations, NGOs, that can apply, and there is a specific pool of funds only for activities supporting older persons. And I would like to conclude with just some quotes from the older persons that we support, as they show that the support is needed to, we want to help them to keep agency, to maintain their dignity and their ability to decide about their own lives, because this is something that everybody needs, and older persons also want to be able to decide about their lives. So maybe just one quote from a participant of our project. Thanks to the assistance I got, I could do additional medical tests, examinations, and buy some medicines with these funds. And I could even buy a kilogram of shrimps to treat myself. One girl during the registration told us, when you get this money, buy yourself a kilogram of shrimps, treat yourself. I did so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Agnieszka. Now we are going to have a short Q&A session, but the question you are invited to raise coming from the tables, not through the Menti platform. So, întrebări direct din sală, 2-3 questions, and you are invited to indicate the speaker who want you to respond.
That's one.
One there.
Bună ziua, Ana Burtea, Fundația Inimă de Copil. Cred că cu toții avem foarte multe întrebări și lucruri de lămurit încă în problema asta a refugiaților, dar doar referindu-mă la panelul de aici, aș întreba-o pe Carmen, care lucrează cu copiii cu dizabilități, pe colega noastră de la Baia Mare, e o întrebare comună cumva, și pe mămica din Ucraina, care reprezintă organizațiile și federația. De câte dificultăți se lovesc sau dacă familiile din Ucraina au reușit în final să certifice dizabilitatea copiilor în sistemul românesc și să primească vreun fel de suport în acest moment, suport pe care copiii români știm că nu este foarte mare, dar totuși îl primesc.
Mulțumesc. Short question, short answers. Thank you.
Se aude? Ok. Noi nu am avut cazuri care să încerce să certifice pe tărâmul românesc, însă aș spune cea mai mare dificultate este de a găsi terapeuți care să răspundă în limba lor. Pentru că, de exemplu, la noi, Centrul Wonder, fiind un centru specializat pe terapii specifice, este foarte greu să faci, de exemplu, recuperarea vorbirii cu un terapeut român. Automat trebuie să ai terapeuți ucrainieni și aici cred că avem cu toții dificultatea în a găsi specialiști, iar costul pe piață a fost unul foarte mare pentru a avea psihologi vorbitori de ucraineană sau terapeuți în limba ucraineană. Deci dificultatea rămâne în zona de dizabilitate sau în zona de cerință specială, pentru că nici nu cred că e vorba de echivalare foarte mult, cât e vorba de a continua terapia și cel puțin la noi părinții și-au dorit să continue. A fost mai ușor să acceseze kinetoterapia, să acceseze activități de grup sau de limbă, dar mai greu zona specifică din cauza lipsei de terapeuți vorbitori de ucraineană.
În cazul nostru am avut o mămică, colega mea Adela știe mai bine pentru că ea a consiliat-o. Am avut un copil, știu că are certificat de încadrare în grad de handicap, dar nu știu să primească în acest moment beneficii sociale. Adela are, țin bine minte, da, deci nu primește, dar are certificat de încadrare. Pentru că știu că sunt niște probleme legate de
Thank you for the question. Actually, I raised yesterday this issue because this is one of the biggest problem for children with disabilities and their families all over Europe, that children with disability are not registered and not recognized as children with disability in Europe because of the different obstacles in the legislation. For example, in my case, I also temporarily protected, and according to the legislation of hosted country, there is no possibility for my son to be registered as a person with disability because you should be a citizen of this country or you should born and as a person with disability, and that is all. There are no other options. That means that all these children are excluded of the service provision within the country. So my son educates, he studies in special school, and he receives great support. And actually one of the way out of Switzerland, I live in Switzerland education, is that they created integrated groups, and they hired specialists from Ukraine. So because, for example, children with disabilities, they could speak Ukrainian, they could understand Ukrainian. So yes, of course, I share your thought that it is needed to have specialists who understands children. And but from the other side, we do not receive any support as social support. I mean, yes, that receive all the other children that are citizens of disability, and this is the issue. I do understand that there is a lack of capacity, there is lack of legislation, and maybe understanding of the project of this problem. And everybody thinks that we are here for 2 or 3 weeks, yes, and times go on, but anyway, yes, this is a very difficult issue, and it would be great to solve it on the EU level, I think, first of all, yes, and then in national legislation.
Mulțumim, thank you. One more question?
I have a comment,
Okay,
a brief
or
comment, if possible,
Yeah.
related to aging. I believe in active aging. I trained over 500 people between 5 years old and plus 71 years old. And the grandmothers who came with their daughters and granddaughters and grandchildren were the best in empowerment through self-defense, and it really helped them. So empowerment through self-defense is for anybody, irrespective of age, weight, height, gender, or sexual orientation. So I recommend it to everybody. Thank you.
Okay, watching you, we also believe us in it.
Okay.
Already believe. No more question direct from the hall? No. Atunci, întrebări, vă rog, după, dacă mai sunt în discuții directe, pentru că vor mai fi ocazii. Vom avea și acest tur la Marketplace înainte de prânz, după prânz vizite la parteneri.